Hey, what's up everyone? This is Silver Slayer. Thank you for tuning into this video. There is a lot, and I mean a lot going on in the precious metals world, as you can obviously see, red across the board. And today I'm going to give you the inside scoop. I'm going to dive deep, show the context behind the scenes, the ins and the outs on what's really affecting the prices and why. So before we jump into this, make sure to smash the like button, subscribe if you're new. I'm I'm definitely working hard on this channel, branching out. I have a lot of exciting things coming for you guys. So make sure you smash the like button, subscribe. You're definitely going to want to. I'm trying to really make some quality stuff and up my content. So with that said, you can see gold and silver prices. Let's go to like the 1 month chart. So gold and silver both have dropped at a pretty similar rate. It's almost like a mirror. And that's interesting because these markets are affected by different things. So when we see this type of pattern so close to in comparison, that means there's usually one common denominator that really has some pull on the market. So let's jump into the reasoning. So this article, the first article, is talking about what's really happening with the price right now. And then the second article goes more into the after effect, what's going to be happening or what the markets will be like after. So let's jump into the first one. I think it's going to be a good video. So silver's biggest monthly price drop in 9 years suggests the market's love affair with it is over. So this is the biggest drop in 9 years. You can see how dramatic, how dramatic of a headline that is, and that's gonna attract the readers, right? So it's biggest drop in 9 years, but also its biggest price rise in 9 years was a couple months ago, right? Right, we saw silver go from $11 to nearly $30 within a couple of months. So even though even though prices are dropping right now, you got to remember how big of an impact it had a couple months ago on the upside. So silver's on track for a 25% fall in September, its biggest monthly drop since 2011. As gold and equities succumb to the strength of the dollar, exchange traded funds have registered for their biggest monthly outflow so far in almost 6 years. So if gold's on the back foot of the economic outlook is mournful, take both, and then silver remembers it's actually an industrial metal and goes into tantrum, and that's the thing. Like I said, they're both affected by different things. So if whatever's happening in the economy is going to get better, silver could benefit from this. Gold only benefits when the markets are in bad shape. Silver benefits whether it's bad or good shape. So if we can remember that silver is an industrial metal and things start to get better, that could be bullish for silver. So silver has had a dazzling 2020, buoyed to multi-year highs by record amounts of cheap cash and a weak dollar. So as clouds gather on the economic horizon, investor passion for silver may be cooling, and the price is now lurching towards its biggest monthly fall in 9 years. From August's giddy 7.5-year high at nearly $30 an ounce, silver has lost almost a quarter of its value so far in September, set for its biggest 1 month drop since September 2011, when it fell by more than 27%. And that was $50. Silver, you got to remember that. So silver's profited from this year's rush into gold, which has touched record highs above $2,000 an ounce as buyers sought alternatives to a weaker dollar, as well as protection against potential future shocks, whether those stem from the pandemic, geopolitics, or beyond. But silver has had a solid track record of delivering nasty shocks, and this is the volatility part, right? Since silver is such a small market and with such a large amount of money, a large amount of new investors into it from Robinhood and younger generations, and traction from the Bitcoin boom that drove people to want to start investing more. Silver is an extremely small market even compared to gold. So the numbers are going to be affected at much higher rates, at much higher percentages. So anyways, silver had a solid track record of delivering nasty shocks, particularly to the uninitiated, thanks in part due to its dual personality as both a precious and an industrial metal. Like I was saying earlier, it is inherently more volatile than gold, and whatever gold does, silver doubles down. If gold's going to rise 10%, silver's going to rise 20%. If gold's going to fall 10%, silver's going to fall 20%. So there's more opportunity, but you can also see how it can be more dangerous. So anyways, uh, gold's status as safe haven asset means it tends to gain when investors are feeling anxious about the stability of the global financial markets, right? When people aren't very secured, or don't really trust banks and governments, they turn towards gold. All right, it's a place to store your money when you don't really trust the banking system. Silver as well, to some extent, right? I mean, both gold and silver are safe haven metals. Now, like I said, silver is also an industrial metal, so it really it's a win-win situation. So that then places it in the line of fire and if equities endure a vicious sell-off, as has been in the case this month, as the S&P 500 lost 8%, driven by mainly a decline in technology stocks, and gold has fallen below $1,900 an ounce to its lowest since July. So if gold's on the back foot and the economic outlook is mournful, then silver, remember, is actually an industrial metal. She continued, so the market's love affair was, as it should be, a serious flirtation that is now over, and silver has fallen out of love with itself. Economic data is showing that the recovery, both in the United States and elsewhere, is running out of steam, and the second wave of this pandemic is threatening to act as even a greater drag on growth, which has sent investors back into the arms of the US dollar. So the growth part is an interesting point to look at, because if the growth, if the production, if the supply is going to be shortening with a huge silver shortage, that's only going to push prices higher. It's only going to give silver more of a scarce outlook on a global scale, right? We're not just talking about the United States, we're talking about the entire world. Mexico, Peru, now, and that was months ago. Now different countries being affected at different rates, shutting down silver mines, shutting down production, even transporting, because there's so many boundaries and blocks. So it's going to be interesting to see where this plays, especially since people now see the proof in the pudding that silver can be profitable. Now, since there is a lot of new money, there's probably going to be a lot of people that come in and out of the market at a very quick pace. So there's going to be a lot of flopping around, but hopefully some stay, and the real stackers, the people that really know silver's true value, they will obviously be buying right now, as prices are at a huge discount with a lot of opportunity, right? So the price of silver, which is used in electronics as well as jewelry, is still up 23% this year, making it 2020's top performing commodity, followed by gold with a 20% gain. So it's crazy, because even though silver is literally the most profitable commodity of 2020, people are still never going to look at that right now. If you're going to read any articles from any of the news media, they're going to be talking about, oh, told you silver was a bad investment, silver's crashing. They're always going to make it look like it's not a good investment, because silver is a direct threat to the US dollar. So however it made most of the headway between March and early August, silver has managed to log just 2 days in the black in September, and has given 40% of the gains made in that time. So anyways, aside from silver's volatility, the fourth quarter can often serve as a moment of reckoning for any asset that has been out of or underperforming. So I really like that perspective on it, and that's so true. Especially, and here's the thing. The 2020 presidential election isn't even here yet. One of the most explosive, by far the most explosive event that is going to happen, even beyond the pandemic, which is the 2020 presidential election. Very controversial, very anticipated. It's going to throw markets in a frenzy, and who knows what's going to catch and what's going to not, right? It also depends on the outcome. Whoever wins is also going to affect the prices, and not just the prices of gold and silver, but everything. So we can't try to predict it. We can't try to look too far ahead yet, especially with so many big events on the horizon. So despite this week's drop, silver's bad luck is over. So I thought that was an interesting article, and let's see what they're talking about. So silver's historic rally this summer, which pushed prices above $30 an ounce, made it the best performing asset so far this year, and then this week happened. Although off its lows, silver prices are down nearly 15% so far this week. It's the worst performing year since 2011. December silver futures trade at $23 an ounce. So this is kind of just covering what we're already talking about. So let's kind of go in. So McClone added that the silver market became an overextended in its initial push above $30. Means it went way too far. It should have corrected. Remember when silver was getting really high, you know, around that $29, $30 range, and I kept saying that it needs to correct. It's actually healthier. It's more bullish if it corrects. This is what I meant. It went too high, and it went above $30 an ounce as he sees prices trading in a range between $20 and $25 an ounce. It was overextended. You don't want something to just keep going up, up, up. There has to be some sell-off. There has to be some dips. There has to be some price corrections. So sustaining below $20 would be a sign of weakness, while showing comfort above $25 would be a further signal of strength. We see the latter as more likely. McGlone said that silver's price action in recent months is similar to what happened during the 2008 credit crisis or financial crisis. And that's interesting because that's what led to $50 silver 3 years later in 2011. So he explained that after an initial rally, silver prices fell to $8 an ounce and have never seen that price again. The price plunge in March cleansed the market of weak longs and solidified the foundation for a more enduring price advance. And the comments come as silver prices have taken a significant hit this past week. A perfect storm of negative news has weighed on the precious metal, and that's what I was just talking about. They're going to take advantage. Anyone, you know, stock markets, anything that, any way they can try to push silver down, sweep it under the rug and make it seem like it's not a good investment. They're going to do, and that's because it's a direct threat to the dollar. Silver goes against the grain. The dollar has no value whatsoever. Silver is literally money. Money is something that cannot be created nor destroyed. And if you are in debt, if you are a slave to the system, it's a power move. They don't want you taking control of your money. They want to be in control of your money, and that they have to do that with dollar bills, US dollars. And that's why they're going to try to make silver seem like it's a bad investment. So anyways, the second factor was the growing uncertainty surrounding further stimulus measures from the government and the Federal Reserve. Analysts said that it is unlikely new stimulus measures will be announced before November 3rd, general and presidential elections. This has weighed on silver's industrial demand. The final factor weighing on silver has been falling gold prices. Of course, this week gold prices dropped through $1,900 an ounce and are down by nearly $100, or about 5%. Analysts have noted that where gold goes, silver follows, which is true to a pretty high extent right now. I think over time, the markets will kind of build their own categories, will be affected by different things. Right now, the common denominator is still strong enough to pull both of these metals down together. But I do think silver has a lot more opportunity than gold, especially when we look in the further ahead in the future, especially for its industrial uses with all these new applications technologically that we're advancing in. But anyways, I'm curious what you thought about this video. What do you think the price of silver is going to do? Do you think that this is a perfect buying opportunity, or do you think you should hold off because it might go lower and you could buy more for cheaper? I definitely took advantage of this week of buying some silver. I have a lot of unboxings coming up in the next couple days. I think the first unboxing will be tomorrow, and then I have some more coming later the weekend or through early next week, so stay tuned for that. Some really cool stuff I bought, and I'm excited to show you. So anyways, make sure to smash the like button, subscribe if you're new. Thanks for tuning in. This was Silver Slayer. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.